Today, particularly and interestingly, I'll be talking about one very important topic that made headlines on the Guardian newspaper for 16th of December 2024, and it is on what Senator Abaribe did say that Igbos are the most marginalized ethnic group in Nigeria. I do not know from what context Senator Abaribe is speaking from. Is it speaking from the context of an Igbo senator whom has done nothing for his constituency, just like every other politician from the Igbo ethnic group have done nothing for their constituencies and therefore are deprived as individuals what they think should be due them? Because when you say Igbos are the most marginalized people, I wonder from what perspective he is looking at it from. As a politician, just like every other Nigerian politician, one of the most important interests is what happens to them. Most of these politicians often they are given contracts, they are awarded contracts for their constituencies, even if they want to deny that, but that is what happens, especially given the off the mic saga with Akpabio, when he was the chair of the NDDC. Most of the senators are given allocations and projects to do in their constituencies. And usually, when such projects are given to them, they fail woefully at executing such a contract. So when he says Igbos are the most marginalized people, I ask myself, is it as a politician or as an average Igbo man? Because when you take a look at marginalization, there's no Nigerian who is not being marginalized. Let's take a look at the northern part of Nigeria. They have had the opportunity of ruling this country for a very long time. In fact, they had been on the throne, longer than every other ethnic group in Nigeria. But look at the northern part of Nigeria. Nobody wants to live there. There used to be a time when every family in Nigeria rushed to the north to train themselves. Literally every Nigerian, 6 in 10 Nigerians understand and speak Hausa fluently because either they've had a stint with the northern part of Nigeria, they lived there, that's where they went to school and so on and so, because it was cheaper, But with the inroad of insurgency, everything crumbled. Despite the fact that they had governed this country, the longest, they have been deprived of so many things. So is it equally good to say or fair to say the Hausas have been marginalized in Nigeria because, of course, when it comes to poverty, they are the hub of poverty in Nigeria. When it comes to all manners of ailments and diseases, that's where you have it. When it comes to out of school children, that's where you see most of it. When it comes to literacy, illiteracy, that's where you see most of it. So is it fair for the Hausa man to equally say they have been marginalized in Nigeria? Now look at the southwest of Nigeria also. Before now, the southwest of Nigeria had the luxury, of competitiveness. But since the inroad of APC with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they equally have been deprived of so many things. Before now, you hardly get to see a Yoruba man who lines up to want to beg. You hardly get to see that. But now, from Ojota to Ikeja to Bega to wherever it is, you see Yoruba people. Nothing. This is something that had never been seen before. You see Yoruba people begging, literally begging. Why? Because a majority of them are civil servants working for local government councils and the ministries and all. And because of that, their take home can't take them home any longer. As a result of subsidy, it's gone, no, instituted by their brother. And therefore, when it comes to economic hardship, they face most of the economic trauma, caused by the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, is it fair also for the Yoruba people to say they have equally been marginalized? Marginalization is subjective in nature. I am an Igbo man. I can't tell you I'm being marginalized because in my area of interest, I want to believe I am doing very well. When you take a look at Igbo people, their area of interest is commerce. How many Igbo man can you see that can hardly not afford to take care of himself and his family, because they are in charge of commerce. So whatever it is the custom does to them by increasing the rate of clearing of containers, they put it on the goods and people will buy. So when it comes to living the average standard, the Igbo man still lives the average standard of comfort in Nigeria. So is it fair to say the equally they have been marginalized? So when it comes to this marginalization thing, I think coming from politicians, most importantly, I think it's a matter of, greed. It's a matter of selfishness. Maybe they have been denied what they think they should be given, which of course doesn't land on the doorsteps of the average Igbo man. And because of that, they say they are the most marginalized people in Nigeria. I think it's only when you call yourself, it's only when you accept you are a slave, that even the slave master would attribute to the fact that you are a slave. But when you look up to your master, your slave master, and tell him, hey, come on, I'm no longer your slave, or you show him value that makes him feel threatened, he would no longer see you as slave. He would love to have you, so you'll be a partners with them. Just like I've often said, the Igbo man is so blessed. The Igbo man has more than enough intelligence to survive. It's only the Igbo man that can grow roses from from the ground. Okay, when I'm talking about ground, I'm talking about from the concrete. They can survive anywhere you place them, anywhere you put them around the world. So that's why I sincerely think the world is not even the Nigeria is not even the right playing field for Igbo people. The world is the right playing field for Igbo people, and therefore the Igbo people should be reoriented, to believe and to accept that there is more they can achieve than just trying to, hustle, in Nigeria. I think what Senator Abaribe should rather be doing is reconscientizing the minds of the Igbo people to let them understand the importance of thinking beyond Nigeria, asking themselves, how can we overrun? How can we overtake? How can we, spread and scale beyond Nigeria? Take over Africa. Think of taking over the world. Seeing ourselves deposited in different places around the world. I would love to see a situation where parliamentarians in the United States of America are more Igbo people. I'd love to see a situation where parliamentarians in Austria, in Australia, in France, just like you have the Jews scattered all over the world. I would love to see a situation where the Igbo people are scattered all over the world with one identity, with one ancestry, knowing they're coming from the southeast of Nigeria. So I would love to say this Igbos are marginalized. For me, it's a very selfish statement by greedy and selfish politicians who might have been deprived what it's meant for the generality of the Igbo people, but it has been deprived to them, and therefore they would love to use the Igbo people, as an opportunity to show off, a sort of sympathy for the rest of the Igbo people. So that's my 2 cents, actually. I do not in any way want to disparage anyone. That is not my intention, but just my POV point of view on this particular matter. I'll see you next time on my 2 cents. Thank you. Bye bye.